foam and like a full fabric coating system are the only two roofing systems where you literally manufacture on premise. Because the foam's not foam until both buckets enter in.
It's just buckets of chemicals.
The chemicals leave, and then it becomes the SPS foam when it right when it shoots in at the tip of the gun.
Yeah.
And then it becomes foam, and the same thing happens with the. And by the way, guys, I've walked some commercial roofs. I've never done a commercial roof before. I can sell this stuff because it's sweet stuff to sell, but this stuff makes huge money. I wanted to talk about one other thing.
Incidentally, if anybody's wondering why you should use us for your roofing marketing, that's why.
Yeah, we don't mess around with it.
We know more about it than anybody who's not a roofer.
Yeah, I should do another podcast or video here that says something like, I know more about roofing than any other marketing company, and here's why.
Right.
Hey there, guys. It is Nolen and Jason for Roofing Webmasters. Today, we're going to talk about how to get into commercial roofing. So this is something that I've run into lots and lots and lots over the years. Like, everybody's a commercial or a residential roofer, and 95% of the residential roofers I've ever talked to kind of secretly would like to be a commercial roofer, or at least do more of it, right? Yeah. And I'll tell you why, because man, as I've talked to people over the years, when we get leads for these guys, they'll get one TPO job that was $300,000 and they made $100,000.
Right.
And they're out in like a month or so, depending on the job, right? And so the question is, how do you get started? So I'm going to run through a few things.
It's easier than you think.
Yeah, I would say it is. It's tough, but it's like there's a couple of companies that will help you. So on the roof coating side, a lot of you heard of Conklin. Conklin's a roof coating. Acrylic coatings are very popular right now. And so restore a roof instead of replace a roof. And you can go in, and the thing I love about these, there's still not always competition, especially in certain parts of the country, for a commercial roof coating. And so the guy calls up, he's getting TPO bids, and you roll in with a bid that's a third less than all the other ones. And I'll say this too, I like
faster too.
Yeah, faster. I like the sales process, at least on a proper roof coating system. And so if somebody's got a $100,000, $300,000 roof bid, and you roll in for $225,000 with an acrylic roof coating, that system and whatever the substrate was there before isn't removed, and so it saves landfills, saves removal costs, and you get to utilize a perfectly sound substrate, and you coat it, and you end up with a seamless membrane. So as a lot of you guys know, like TPOs did not last as long as they were supposed to, and they're failing across America, and I think billions of square feet. I don't know how much it is, but it's a lot of square footage that's failing right now.
Yeah.
And so these calls are coming in, and a lot of people are starting to do a roof coating, and roof coatings is a way to enter into the commercial roof market. So they'll go spray the coating or apply the coating, and then instead of having seams or hand welded or robo welded seams or screws for a metal roof, that's the easiest one, by the way. If you're going to coat, it's a metal roof coating, and a lot of people would argue that that's the best type of roof, is to have a metal roof that's then coated, because now it's seamless. Right. So it's a really sturdy, sound substrate, and all the little screw holes that could fail and seams are gone because it's been coated. Now here's the other interesting thing, and I'll go off on the coatings just for a little bit, whether it's Conklin or something else. The thing about the Conklin network is that they're paid to train you. So if you want to know how to get in, you can get into Conklin with a local Conklin distributor, and that guy will get a little piece of your purchase, and then he'll literally get paid if you purchase material. So he'll come walk a roof and bid it with you.
Nolen actually went out to Conklin and went through their training just so we would know it better for our own clients.
Yeah, we could actually sign you up with Conklin and hook you up with roofers that can do that. And so the better we understand all these different aspects of roofing, the better job we do on the websites, right? So now I'm aware that single plies or TPO, EPDM, PVC, the writing department can write about them. I'm aware that roof coatings are primarily an acrylic based or urethane modified acrylic, and you have silicone and polyurea and other types of roof coatings. And And sometimes you end up with a foam coating combo if you can't do a straight coat job over it, like a aggregate is down or something, and you get most of that off and coat and foam and then coat.
Right.
Because you can't coat aggregate because it's bumpy and it fails basically. But coatings from a long time ago didn't work that well, but now with new UV protection and all that, they work. The sales process is cool on that though, because again, you can go in, oh, by the way, another thing about a coating, it does not disrupt the business. So let's say they're manufacturing something or it's an operating business. You don't have to shut it down while you redo the roof, which is how coatings were originally developed, by the way. Because a guy had a production deal or some sort of manufacturing, and he didn't want to shut down, so they came up with coatings and they redid this guy's roof. I think it was somewhere back in the 70s, I forget. But anyway, so coatings are not only a cool new thing where there's potentially higher profit margin for you, it'll lead you, coatings will definitely lead you into possibly foam, and then that stuff can be taught to you by Conklin because they literally get paid when you buy something. So it's a network of roofers helping roofers to get in, and they will get you into it. Please do call me if you want to get into Conklin, by the way, because we can basically represent you for Conklin and get you in, and by the way, provide leads, because what the hell good is it if you can't get any business, right? So it all comes back to leads for me, because that's what we do for guys. But if you want to get into commercial, call us, because I've spent so much time learning it. We write content for all these different areas. We've got a whole section just on commercial metal. But yeah, you can have pages for standing seam and corrugated and R panel and all of that, and commercial metal roof restoration and all kinds of stuff. SPF and foam roofing. So I just talked to a guy. This was a brand new thing that I thought was cool, and it's kind of like the same concept of coating, but a little bit more complicated. There's a company called Roof Hugger, and I don't know them at all, guys, but it's a simple little skeletal system that is these cross beams of metal that go over the R panel or standing seam of an existing metal roof. And so you go put these ridges in, and then you basically just float another metal roof right over the top of it.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it's kind of a cool deal. A local roofer, I can't mention his name because his name's so unique, but it's a guy I was just talking to in Dallas that's a client of ours, and he did a roof for this and had a write-up on it. Actually, he said I didn't mind if I mentioned his name. His name's Kanish. You know who Kanish is?
Yeah.
So Kanish had called up, and he's got a great business in Dallas, and he installed this Roof Hugger metal roof system. And that literally is a system that'll go over the existing metal roof. And again, it saves landfills. People would call this a green system because you're not having to take this metal roof up and fill up landfills or try to dispose of it in some way.
Yeah. Or even try to recycle.
It saves the fee of having to remove it in the first place, and it actually creates a little air pocket in between it, which is helps with your utilities and stuff. So not to mention this metal can be different colors to also be reflective, which, as you guys may know, also severely lowers lowers the temperature inside and saves on utility. Right. So yeah, a lot of people are going to coatings or a different color metal roof, things like that on commercial just to salvage. We had a client that had a 400,000 square foot roof bid on, and I don't even think he's gotten it yet, so I won't mention the company, but y'all have all heard of the manufacturer of the company. They have several 400,000 square foot buildings around the country, or multiple ones. Yeah. And the guy looked up a page that we wrote for him that was for cool roof green roofs, and they wanted to lower the temperature inside the plant. And by the way, it was a foam coating combo. Why? Because that's some pretty damn good insulation on that rooftop.
Right.
So it would have been a foam, spray foam over, and then a coat. And they're looking to, they were going to save that much money on the temperature was pretty high in there because they were manufacturing like motor type stuff.
Okay, I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah, without mentioning the name of it. But so that is, I don't know about Roof Hugger, but that's something else. And just in general, like why the hell, how to get in commercial roofing? And another question here is, why get into commercial roofing? Because I'm sick of getting guys calling that say that they got a $1.2 million bid, you know, and 2.1 million was one of them with a $700,000 profit.
Right.
By the way, that came off, I think, a coat job. or 300,000 with 100,000 or a 50. These are like really sweet jobs. So why? Because of that. Because these jobs come through. You don't get as many leads from it, but we've got a guy in Pittsburgh, PA, that gets about 10 or 12 every month. And these aren't like jacked up little leads. People don't call, like half-ass call about a commercial roof job, Not usually. Every once in a while you can reach one. It's like, we're a not-for-profit with a leak. Can you spray a coating over a 10 by 10 area for $200? I mean, those do come through, but they're rare. What normally comes through is these massive potential jobs. They're like really.
Like a small one is 20,000.
Yeah, a really small one is 20,000 because you're at like a roof coating job is going to go as little as $250 a foot. Yeah. If it goes into like combo stuff and you start foam and coating, then you go like $450. Mm-hmm. If you go, and it might go down but if you go like a 3,000 square foot roof on a coat job, you might bid it at $5 or $6 a foot because they're not going to make as much money on it up front. And then it's still a lot cheaper than them replacing the metal that's there.
Right.
So if somebody comes out and brings out their spray rig and all this stuff, what's going to cost them a little bit of money and the price goes up. But if you go up to like a 100,000 square foot roof, you might go down to $2.35 for the coating. And I'll tell you one other cool thing about coating that people don't know. Like a single ply is like a TPO is a single ply, has a single ply inside of it with like some silicone or acrylic stuff around it, like there's some sort of, it's like, it looks like vinyl essentially if you've never seen it. They roll it out. But if you roll out fabric over a roof and then spray it, you have essentially built the single ply in place.
Right.
And people talk about roof systems, and on commercial, it's the installation that screws it up on a coating, on a roof coating. So the individual that does the system improperly screws it up, or they go out and they don't fortify or caulk all the fasteners, which are the screws in the metal roof. So if they don't, and then it's rigid and breaks down faster on that one spot, right? And so, or when that system isn't done properly, that's why roof coatings fail, or that's why foam roofs fail, or they don't go back and spray it. They'll go back, sometimes guys will go back in like a repair job, for example, and they'll do this caulk sealant. But the caulk sealant didn't have UV protection in it. So you get caulk sealant and it dries, and then you UV protect it with the coating again. Okay. Otherwise, the caulk sealant that you put on there fails within a year and a half and starts leaking everywhere. So, and that's another thing about some of these the commercial jobs, you can get maintenance contracts on them and go back and see them and have them pay. And then the cool thing about the roof coating, it's even cheaper the second time. So let's say you go out and do this Mac Daddy roof coating where you essentially built the single ply in place, and then it's a seamless membrane with the single ply built in place. So essentially you had the TPO with no stinking seams.
Right.
And since you built the product on premise, it's stinking way cheaper because you're not paying the manufacturer for the product. You essentially manufacture the product on premise.
Yeah, the material cost.
It's the only one just about, besides foam and like a full fabric coating system are the only two roofing systems where you literally manufacture on premise. Because the foam's not foam until both buckets enter in.
It's just buckets of chemicals.
The chemicals leave, and then it becomes the SPS foam right when it shoots in at the tip of the gun.
Yeah.
And then it becomes foam, and the same thing happens with the. And by the way, guys, I've walked some commercial roofs. I've never done a commercial roof before. I can sell this stuff because it's sweet stuff to sell, but this stuff makes huge money. I wanted to talk about one other thing.
Incidentally, if anybody's wondering why you should use us for your roofing marketing, that's why.
Yeah, we don't mess around with it.
We know more about it than anybody who's not a roofer.
Yeah, I should do another podcast or video here that says something like, I know more about roofing than any other marketing company, and here's why.
Right.
But so all the stuff that you're hearing me talk about, from a cool roof to a green roof to a low, do you know there's no such thing as a flat roof to speak of unless it's ponding and pooling. They're all
have a slope.
They're all low slope, but everybody calls them flat roofs. But it's flat roof repair, commercial roof restoration, all this sort of stuff, all those keywords we work on for you. And you're so stinking happy when we are your web company and that phone call comes in and your stomach drops out of your butt because you're like, oh my God, I just had $100,000 square foot roof call in.
Yeah,
and
you
like,
find yourself
damn.
standing on a roof somewhere, and it's like this expanse of white as far as the eye can see, and you can just hear the dollar signs.
The expanse of white is actually after it's already been done. Yeah, so yeah.
Excuse me, I've been corrected.
Because actually that white doesn't look like that typically. That's when it's blinding. It can literally cause you to like not see when you get off of a freshly coated roof. Like it's that snow white coating that is like, in fact, when you touch it, it's like cool to the touch. It's literally cool. You can go over to the modified or the EPDM and it's like hot, and there's tar on it or something. You go over the white and it's literally like 10 or 20 degrees cooler.
Wow.
But after it's just been there just a little while, it does build up some dirt and stuff, which is, by the way, why the roof owner should pay for a roof washing every so often, because the buildup of the dirt breaks down the UV protection faster.
Huh.
So anyway, but yeah, some of those roof coatings are pond proof basically too, by the way, when they come through, but most of that evaporate off by early morning. If you're in like New Orleans or something, it's dew and water on the roof all the time. You can still coat, it's just much trickier because of the dew point on all of it. But you cannot coat a roof, by the way, unless it's 42 degrees, I think, and climbing, because the coating won't activate properly and it'll mix with like the moisture at some point. So anyway, but yeah, so what else about how to get involved in commercial roofing? So I talked about some ways to call. Please, again, call us if you're going to go Conklin, because I'm signed up, and I'll not only hook you up with a roofer in your area, but also do the marketing and be happy with you that you called us for it. But that is the other thing I wanted to talk about, is the marketing. So you can't be a commercial roofer without leads, and we're going to help you optimize. We'd optimize on a residential basis for somebody, and they might get 20 calls every month off of that site on pretty easily, or more, depending on if there's hail and storm damage. You can get 100 calls in a day if you're optimized if something horrible happened, like a hurricane, wind damage, or hail. But you have that regular phone call volume, you might only get 2 or 3 calls a month, or you might get 10 like the guy out of Pittsburgh. He's commercial only, and so it just depends on how big the city is and all that. But those calls that come through are just gold. And you've got to have them. And yes, people do go online. I'm going to knock out some false narratives that people have and old tales that y'all tell each other. Yeah, of course people go online to look for commercial roofs. No, they don't all know building engineers and networked with somebody. They get online all the time and look for these. We call track this stuff.
We've got the proof.
Yeah, they call all the time. That 400,000 square foot was a name brand company, and you darn well know who they are. And some guy at that facility of 400,000 square feet was tasked with making it cooler in the facility by getting a cool roof, and he typed in cool roof in that market with our one of our best clients, Jag Roofing. But anyway, Cody. But anyway, so yeah, and by the way, I know a lot of these guys. I hang out with them, we walk the roofs, but you've got to have the marketing. So the other way to get into commercial, so I would say this, so I'll sum some of this up. So how to get into commercial roofing. For one thing, stinking try. I know one guy.
Don't be afraid of it.
Yeah, don't be afraid of it. So let's say that we have a section for you that's commercial metal roofing. And you're like, what do? I just got to call 40,000 square foot commercial metal roof. I got an acre under roof. Okay, great. Call another local roofer. There's sheet metal fabricators that are going to want to be your guy. So they'll come out, go halvesies with them, split it. Say, hey, I know somebody who did this. Call some old timer in the area that you know's damn good at it, and say, hey Bob, I need help. Would you come walk the roof with me? This is so-and-so roofing company. I said, if you don't mind, I'll split it if I get it, or I'll pay you this, or would you just come out, or I'll buy the sheet metal from you. You may not even have to split it. You could just say, hey, I'll buy from you. Do you mind coming, hanging out with me? I'll buy you lunch. They'll come help you bid the roof, do the whole thing, and become your fabricator. So that's one way to get into the metal side of it. The coating side, I told you how to get into that one. There's a whole company set up to do nothing but help roofers help roofers do coatings, and they also do foam. They also carry PVC, and I'm pretty sure that by within the next few months they're going to be carrying TPO. And I went down in 3 days, by the way, and got certified by Conklin, and I'm manufacturer warranty certified for pretty much any roof coating you could want, SPF foam, PVC, and about to be TPO. And there's not many places you can do that. You know you're going to get shut out of Firestone and some other products. Like if you're not already doing volume, you ain't getting in. You're gonna get mule hide and other stuff on TPO work, which I'm not dogging any of this stuff, but I'd go sign up with mule hide if I needed to get TPO product. But I'm just telling you that some of them are hard to get. You can go to Conklin in 3 days and boom, blow out all your certifications, and you've got every stinking type of commercial roof besides metal there, which you don't have to get certified as far as I know because you fabricate it. Right. So, guys, so get marketed first. A lead comes in, it's a good problem to have. What do? I've got a massive lead on my hands that might make enough money for my whole family to
Wouldn't
live.
you like that to happen 10 times a month?
Yeah, I've got a lead that guy in Pittsburgh, by the way, does 8 to 10 million.
Yeah.
And he had called me because his business had slipped because he was focused on his siding, commercial siding. But yeah, so per year. But yeah. So you get one of these jobs and it pays your bills for 6 months, and so they're nice to add to the mix. And almost every residential guy I've ever talked to says basically, well, how many, what's your mix? I always ask, hey, so are you only residential? Oh, I do some commercial.
I do some commercial.
It almost reminds me of, I speak a little Spanish. Well, no, we don't,
I can order Tex-Mex.
Right. We don't speak in uno más cerveza, por favor. Yeah. So yeah, we don't speak Spanish. So people they do a little bit of roofing. So every roofer does a little bit of commercial. Well, I do a little bit of commercial. I do about 10%, 15%, 20%. Yeah. But I wish I did more.
But I don't know how to get it.
But I don't know how to do it or get involved. And I've only ever done one TPO job. I can do TPO because I got a TPO sub crew that I can call.
Yeah.
And so I'll go, well, I'd take more calls, but they're hard to get, and nobody searches for. Well, yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do.
The $300,000.
And we can get them for you.
Yeah, the $300,000 TPO job is from a client we have in Houston, Texas, that we have a TPO page on.
Right.
And that's how he got the bid. And then he made extremely good money on that. So get calls first and have a really good problem to have, which is like, oh, I don't know how to do a TPO. I don't know how to do a metal roof. I don't know how to do a roof coating or a foam. And then get on the phone and start calling roofers, cut a deal, however you can, whatever it is. Buy the guy lunch, give him a cut of the deal, whatever you're going to do. And then start learning that business. Learn how to measure and bid them. Most of the stuff you can get on the Google Images is the same thing. Eagle View, I think, is a little better there was a few of them. I can't remember the name of it right
Eagle
now.
View. There was one of them had.
There's one of them that was better for a commercial.
One of them had estimate in the title.
Yeah, I don't know, guys.
I'll
help you with it if you
call us and we'll look it up.
Call us and we'll figure it out. But yeah, there's one of the estimator softwares that takes the images that does a little bit better for the actual commercial roof. And then there's other things you need to be careful on too, like thermal imaging. You got to be when you do a commercial roof, especially if you're going to coat it, you have to walk that roof and make sure there's no moisture anywhere. And moisture underneath it is the only thing that really kills the roof coating. It'll bubble straight up, and if it's condensation underneath the whole thing, it'll just bubble up and slide off.
Yeah,
which would be crazy horrible. But yeah, you can learn it. Get the lead first, figure it out. There's some of these companies that will help you. Your local distributor will help you. So in some cases, so you're going to buy $100,000 worth of TPO, call the local distributor, and if they don't help you, call another distributor. So They'll come walk the job with you. If they're not going to help you, that's not a very good local distributor, because I've heard a lot of these stories and almost all of them will come help you.
Believe me, they want the sale too.
Yeah, they do, and they'll come help you a lot. They won't know newer stuff like coatings as well, though, is the problem. Yeah. Those guys on staff don't know the coating side of it as well yet, and you can get into the others. So I don't know. I hope that helped you out. It's worth trying to get into commercial if you're a roofer to do this. Depending on what type of the part of the country you're in, you might need, of course, licensing. I'm no legal advice for you. Yeah, we're in Texas.
All you gotta do is hang up a shingle.
Yeah, you do. In Texas, you hang a shingle. In other places, they've got to get bonded and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So if you got to do that, you need to work on that first. Obviously, you don't want to put up marketing content that goes online and gets you in trouble with the state before you're actually licensed. So if you are in a state that requires licensing, you might want to consider some of that. I'll leave you with the one last thing. I think the Trump administration wrote into some law that instead of having to amortize out the expenditure of the capital improvement of the new commercial roof, they can drop it all in one stinking year. And in case you didn't catch what I just said, if somebody bought $1 million roof on a building, let's just keep easy math here, and the guy made $1 million a year, and he's going to get to and he's going to get taxed at a high tax rate. Let's say it's at 40%. He's going to pay $400,000 in taxes, has $1 million roof. He can write the $1 million directly against the income and forego taxes for the year by buying that. In the past, he would have had to amortize the $1 million out over, I don't know how many years, like 30 years or whatever it was. Don't quote me here, guys. I don't know the amortization schedule that used to be for commercial roofing, but let's say that he could only apply $50,000 per year. Well, now he went from $50,000 per year to the whole stinking nut on 1 year. So there is a tax incentive currently for business owners to replace their stinking roofs as an economic incentive.
It's like 2 more years, right?
I don't know how many more years it is.
Again, don't quote us on that.
Yeah, I thought it was 5 years, but I don't know.
Okay.
But the point is, right, we're in the middle.
It does have a time limit, I think.
Yeah, there will be. It was the same. They did this during the economic crisis or the Great Recession for cars and wind turbines and solar panels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So there's something similar going on like this that greatly helps that business owner. They don't have to amortize. They can just boom, cut it right there. Look it up. Don't quote me on this because I'm missing some of the pieces. But the point is, there is stimulus right now that is creating way more commercial roofs to get redone currently. And then on top of that, we're riding the wave of the roof coatings, which is also causing more commercial roofs to get done. Commercial roofing has just skyrocketed in the amount of square footage that's getting done on a yearly basis.
Yeah.
Now, the other part of it is like now is the time to get into commercial roofing. So, guys, I'd love to be able to help you. We'd love to be able to help you. Like the video, like the podcast, however you listened to it, heard of it, watched it. We'd appreciate it. Take a look around. And of course, as usual, call us when you're ready. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's something that I do here that I thought you might be interested in hearing me talk about. I've helped out hundreds of roofers, and I'll help you out too, and I hope to hear from you.
See ya.